Hello there and welcome back to the Sound Okay podcast, the place where we talk about the grim darkness of the current state of affairs when it comes to music and music creation and music business and everything in between. And today we're gonna be trying to have a more positive conversation, because be positive. Well, if I could, I would. A conversation because we're gonna be trying to talk about the good and the bad about music technology and how much it has changed the whole paradigm when it comes to making music, performing music, and even enjoying music. Don't you think that there has to be some form of conversation to be had there?
Yeah, I do agree. And hello, guys and boys, how's it going? Very glad to be back, and it's great to have you here as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is that music and technology has always been very much attached.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest changes that we've seen in music, the music industry, and music as a whole, come out of the new and technological developments happening at any given point in time.
I agree.
So we can start from there first and foremost. What do you think is the defining factor of technology when it comes to making music today? What do you think is the new stuff that actually plays a role in the way that music is made and consumed?
Currently speaking, I think streaming. Before we hit the record button, we're having this conversation back while having lunch about how much of an impact the notion of free music, or basically for free, access to unlimited amount of music for little to nothing, changed the entire way that we not only enjoy or pretend to enjoy music or interact with the whole medium as a whole. Because back in the day when you used to have to buy your own stuff and own it forever, for as long as you preserve the piece, of course, the whole experience of buying a record was tough, man. Because do you remember record stores?
Yeah.
So
I got kind of the tail end of it, to be very honest.
Okay. I got also a little bit of the tail end, but the height was during the 90s, man. The late 90s was, and that's when as a kid, I've always been a sucker for music. So as a kid, I always tried to LARP as being a cool kid, going to the record stores, but not even being able to afford a freaking CD, but whatever. But it was amusing to see how those were crowded, man, with people. Talking about albums, you could change your mind. Let's say you went there to buy the latest Britney Spears record, and all of a sudden you're walking down the hallway and somebody says, "Dude, have you heard King Crimson?" "No, what's that?"
Or boy, that escalated quickly.
No, thanks, because they could be like, "Man, have you ever heard In the Wake of Poseidon, the song of the album?" "Is there an album?" "Yes." "No, I haven't." "Is it good?" "Yes, fantastic." Well, maybe we'll give a try to King Crimson. That happened quite often.
And a life was changed in the
for
process.
The best.
Yeah, because if you were living with the Britney Spears album and then you ended up living with In the Wake of Poseidon, there's a watershed moment in your life.
It is a watershed moment,
Yeah.
indeed. And the whole thing, or that whole notion, disappeared with the advent of buying your music for iTunes. Because you no longer had that conversation. You can make the argument that the conversation took place on the internet, on forums, and all of that stuff from there before Facebook internet. And yeah, that was good, because you could have a much more deeper conversation with people that could have more information than you on certain topics, allowing you to expand your palette of options to basically infinity, but still forcing you to acquire the material in the most of legal ways, of course.
Of course, always.
Unless you fancy the seas. But nowadays that's lost, because music became a basically speaking, everything we want to listen to. I don't have to explain to anybody watching what Spotify or streaming music is. But you can see that the difference in the whole experience is completely so big that it's basically not even the same experience anymore.
Yeah.
And people are no longer having these conversations because they are only listening to something that captures their attention. And one thing that happened is that now that you have infinite options, you either never listen to anything. The same what happens with Netflix, or for those of you who are still paying for that shit. Everybody complains that there's nothing to watch when they have untold numbers of shows and movies available to them just by at the click of a button. But everybody has the same complaint. There's nothing to say. Why? There are so many options that you have a hard time making a decision, and the decision-making process gets you tired. And you are doing it because you want to relax, you want to have some form of enjoyment out of the day. And that extra step, for as meaningless as it is, there is merit to the fact of not doing it. Because you're, man, I'm here to have fun, not to think. They pay me to think. And I don't want to think right now.
Yeah.
So, make a choice and you just complain that there's nothing good to watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
Which in reality there is nothing bad whatever. And
look,
the same happens to music.
Yeah.
But not only that, when you have untold numbers of music available to you, you don't give a damn to anything if it doesn't catch your attention immediately because you're just swiping up for the next one.
One thing that needs to be taken into consideration is that there's a very different impression or approach to, let's say, streaming from the generation, the people that caught the transition, that were there before streaming, and the people that are born into it.
I was there.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is the following. Someone who went through the whole notion of going to a music shop, a CD shop,
yes,
picking their CDs, taking their CD homes and listening to them, already had that attachment to music developed through those means, and the advent of streaming sounded like a fantastic proposition to those people because they already liked their bands. They had already gone through the whole interaction in between people, the conversations of exchanging bands, and actually becoming a fan of music. And then now I can listen to whatever I want, and suddenly that possibility sounds very appealing. But
having access to the records you didn't own.
Yes, exactly. But you already had that attachment created under different circumstances.
I can see where you're going with this.
For someone who the first connection to music is being created through streaming, it doesn't allow for the creation of this sense of attachment that
the connection never happens when there's no click.
Yeah, so it's very different. It's one of the reasons why it's kind of tough when you see this kind of discussion happening in between generations. You see, let's say, the Gen Xers, someone who actually went through the high point of buying and exchanging and trading CDs. They probably were extremely excited with the notion of streaming because they already had that passion for music and they saw a means to have access to music in a way that they never could before.
Just ask them, any Gen Xer around you, how excited that they felt when they could get rid of the CDs. Yeah. And they could have thousands of songs inside of a device such as the iPod.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from that perspective, it's a way better proposition. It is indeed.
The thing is that what many of them don't consider is the fact that if they hadn't gone through those routes in the first place,
they wouldn't have the same attachment to the streaming service or they would be on their side.
Exactly.
Yeah, because kids nowadays is very common. Have you seen this trend, man, where particularly Gen Z is logging off social media?
Yeah, no, actually I have seen some.
It's trending, man. It's becoming much more of a thing, man. And it's not only that, also they are canceling subscription services and stuff. Why? Because they are realizing that they own nothing and they are not happy at all. And who would have thought, right? And that whole thing is actually making wreaking havoc, man. Because even the numbers on YouTube are sucky for everybody. Plus many more things that we won't be discussing in this show. But you'll see that in this case, technology, even though it could be seen from an objective perspective,
superficial perspective,
to be something benign, it ended up becoming something terrible, man.
Extremely detrimental to the betterment of music.
Because this is taking us, or is a segue that will allow us to get into the next one. This whole notion of music being disposable due to its overabundance and immediate access also paved way for shitty music being produced en masse and becoming the norm and flooding all of the different streaming services. Because not only that, for those of you who are not musicians yourself, uploading music to Spotify is as easy and as cheap as $25 per year. Unlimited uploads, mind you. And it's not only to Spotify, it's every freaking streaming service around and collecting royalties for you. So do you think the entry level the entry level is gone. The gatekeeper no longer exist. So the quality, well, that explains why music is so, well, has a bad rep today. Because everybody's doing it. Yeah. And why is everybody capable of doing it? Technology made it much more affordable.
Yeah.
That on paper should be a great thing, because it made 10 years ago everybody in this business, the recording thing, we're discussing how technology is finally democratizing the whole concept of producing music. By that I mean making it available to anybody who had access to a computer.
Yeah.
Basically speaking, because that's what you need in order to produce music. How good? Let's be frank.
Yeah.
It's gonna take. You are as good as the amount of knowledge you got, first and foremost. Secondly, the amount of experience you have, and thirdly,
the tools
you have access to.
Yeah.
Because it's not. There was this super annoying train of thought going around back in those days as well, that it's not the gear, it's the guy. No, man, it's both. And the more you do this, the more you realize, like, good gear, or gear that is good enough, technologically speaking, can take you this far. But the really good things makes you the difference between what you're producing right now and what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
So you start to realize later on that now you truly need to get a good taste.
Yeah.
But they're expensive. So how much of actual democratization happened then?
The thing is that it gave the impression that you could be producing music while not exactly allowing you to produce at the level that is expected out of a
professional record.
And the thing is, another time we see the phenomenon of how you get into it. Because a lot of the modern technologies when it comes to producing music, they're not necessarily about making the process of making music better. They are about making it easier.
Yes.
And I see a gigantic problem with that. Because the same thing that happened with the guy that bought CDs and then shifted into streaming, carrying the experience of having lived through the CD era.
It makes a completely different mindset, right?
Completely different. And now, if you had to work with the technology from the 80s, let's say early 80s, sorry, where a lot of what's possible nowadays was already possible then.
Yeah, but way harder. And way more expensive.
But the guys that managed to use those tools to produce the stuff that we now love and cherish,
and use as a reference point,
they are the good guys. They're the guys that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, man.
And we don't foster those guys anymore because technology has made things easier rather than better.
Look, there was during the weekend I watched. I was cleaning up the studio and doing some refurbishment or fixing stuff, right? Fixing cables and finding problems with this stuff. And while I do that, I tend to listen to stuff on YouTube or podcast. And there was this interview of the guitar player for Sting. I can't remember the name of the guy. Fantastic guitar player. He's the guy who recorded with him Fields of Gold. He's been with him since forever, man. Yeah. You can hear his guitar playing on Fields of Gold and Shape of My Heart.
Yeah, this probably sounded loud.
Yeah, sorry about that. Shape of My Heart. So, funny story. Shape of My Heart. The guitar tech you hear is the draft.
Oh, for real?
Because according to him, his wife was pregnant. She was already in later stages of her pregnancy. So he was working with Sting at Sting's house. And he, of course, back in the early 90s, had a studio in his basement. So now, that was big bucks, man.
Yeah.
And they were drafting ideas for new music. And the intro to Shape of My Heart, the ting, 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 it's actually an exercise.
For real? Look at that.
This guy was, his family, he's half, he's British, but he seems to have connections with Argentina. So he has a fascination for the style of this kind of, it's not flamenco, but it's Latin American style of guitar playing, which is very, very unique. Has plenty of flamenco elements with a little bit of the bossa nova stuff from the jungle and stuff like that. So it has its own take. It's actually cool style. And he was practicing a particular series of chords just to get familiar with them, as any good guitar player would. And Sting was preparing tea, clearly. What are you doing? What's that? It's an exercise. Keep going. He said that he stopped making the coffee, the drinks. Okay, record this. Then he hit he did a few rounds in his garden. Came back with the lyrics, and that was the song. Man. So he got this partner.
For real?
Yeah, and then to the studio. So they went to the studio downstairs, and long story short, he tracked it, but using not microphones. He used the DI.
He went line.
Because it was a draft, man. Sting was singing by the side. So if you put microphones on an acoustic guitar and somebody's singing, it's gonna be more singing than guitar. So he went a DI.
And that's the version that went into the album?
With chorus and delay by accident because the guy didn't even pay attention. And the thing is this.
For real? It's one of the biggest hits.
Wait. It gets better. When he was tracking, he gets a call. Dude, she's already getting ready for labor. So, shit, I gotta leave because from where they were, all the way down to where she was, it was like an hour driving. So he's like, damn. And if I don't do, well, I gotta go. And the engineer, okay, dude, just leave us with a draft so we can keep working with it. It's gonna be 3 minutes. Gonna help. Yes, you're already plugged in. Just bah. So he did it, and he said, "Oh, I didn't have the red light syndrome." Recording whenever like, oh shit, something happens. You suck when you're recording, but when you're preparing, flawlessly. But he didn't have it because he was thinking on.
No, his mind was clearly somewhere else.
I gotta leave now. So
Probably
he got to that state of zen, like. That he did it in one take. Then he came back. Okay, let's do it. Let's get the microphones. Now it's done. Sting likes it. Really? But the thing is this. Long story short, what he said is that new music production, or the way that we're work, or the way that we see the whole crafting of stuff, is no longer based on the idea of having a great recording engineer. Somebody who cares for the sound, somebody who spends time just listening to the performer, the equipment, how it's interacting with the room, somebody who has spent hours just learning how to appreciate the different piece of gear because it was limited. So what I got, I have to squeeze it. Because it was very expensive and also not as readily available as it is today. Because manufacturing process and stuff, right? So he said we lost that, man. Because the guitar sounds so good on the record because the guy, even though they were recording DIs,
and drafting,
he said he used one of those preamps, the blue ones. He couldn't remember the Chandler, the good shit. Those are like $2,000 per channel. Like that's proper channels, man. It's a proper DI chain. That's why. Plenty of character, plenty of color. The guy chose the right one for the guitar he was rocking. No, everything. Because if you listen to the record, like, ding, that sounds like a Grammy. And when I saw that it was the DI, like, and the draft, like, no, that's it.
That's actually a very, very interesting piece of trivia.
That's actually cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
And especially taking into account that he became one of
that's an iconic song.
Yeah, because out of his solo career,
it's probably his biggest hit.
Yeah, more than likely.
It's bigger than Fields of Gold. I think Fields of Gold is better, but yes, it's bigger than that album.
That's insane. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, I heard that like.
What year are we talking about here?
92.
Okay, so he already had his home studio.
Yeah, how much, man? The thing is that, by that point, it was. At the very, right after he left the police. And the police, when they call it quits, they were their highest.
No, they were really big.
Super big. So, no, man, he had the means. But just in mind, now that you have an idea, after working here for a while, how much money is involved in getting a place like this started, man. And now imagine that back in the day. Insanity. No man, and that the whole notion of the bedroom producer and the home studio, yeah, it existed, but for Kate Bush, for freaking Sting or Peter Gabriel, that kind of guy, Frank Zappa, Eddie Van Halen, those guys that at that point were already super renowned.
Yeah.
But nowadays you have access to all of those tools in a digital format everywhere you are, and for very cheap, unless you go. You are fancy of this. You fancy this.
Yeah.
Why do we suck so much then?
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Because it's a very positive one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because having access, and it is thanks to this that I developed a career doing this. Because otherwise, given my conditions, I wouldn't never even had a chance devoting myself to music back in the Sting days. Yeah. Maybe I would have to move to another freaking country and stuff.
Yeah.
And the possibilities were still there, but it would have been a completely different affair. I would have end up working for someone. I wouldn't be able to start off my own business. So, what do you think?
Look, I think it does relate quite a lot to something that I already mentioned passingly, but I think we can try to bring this as a new layer to the conversation. The whole notion of developing technology for the convenience factor rather than the betterment factor. Because I think that a lot of the technology related to music, especially talking, let's say, mid-90s onwards, has not been created, has not been developed to make things better. It has been developed to make things easier.
And efficient.
More efficient. So you're more into music technology than I am. You can even say that if I'm incorrect. I don't know, I might be wrong about it. It's just my own perspective on it. But I do think that most of the shift, let's say software, plugins, they usually are more practical recreations of boxes that exist in the real world that probably do the job better, but they are impractical. So you see, that's just one example of something that I probably seen happening on many different instances of music. And I think the consequence of this approach to the development of technology is one that puts at the forefront convenience rather than the pursuit for excellence, which was a driving force up until several decades past.
Yeah, but look, I will... now that I'm... once I started to finally get myself some form of analog gear for music production and mixing in particular, that's when I started to see the big difference. And the big difference lies not in the sense of it being better. The difference lies on the fact that in order for you to get the hardware piece to work properly and it starts to do its thing, you need to first learn how to fit it with the correct signal. Stuff you don't have to do with plugins. Now you start to care for levels. Now you start to pay attention to the technical aspect of the whole craft that when doing or going full on digital, you don't have to bother with. Of course you do, but it's not the same, man. Because now that you're playing with, you start to notice how actually sensitive it is, how easy it is for you to F it up, and that starts to show you how much it is important for you to truly spend time with the gear. And that's the reason why these guys are so good, because they didn't have the benefit of rocking presets or watching tutorials. Okay, this is the stereo bus compressor. Use it. Oof. And whenever you have the chance to work with something like that, man, doesn't work. Yeah, you know why? Many things we're doing incorrect. And that's the kind of stuff that you learn when you have the gear. And when you start to master it, probably the reason why it sounds better is because since you have to put so much more effort into making it sound better,
you become better, man.
Is that? And I think that I'm starting to get to that conclusion. Of course, the gear itself has plenty of benefits, right? But I think the biggest takeaway is that, man. Because it forces you to stop being stupid. Makes sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does.
It's a completely different affair.
And once again, I think we fall into the same that we already sort of replicated 3 times here in the conversation. The guys that learned through the real deal, that actually had to work with what they had to develop the chops, to develop the experience.
They are so good with the new stuff because they learn from the tough side.
And now that they have access to tools that makes their job a little bit more efficient, a little bit more practical, with the knowledge that they got from the hard shit, they can do wonders. The thing is that those guys are still the very same ones from the last 30, 40 years.
We're talking about Bob Claremont and freaking Michael Brower, all those guys, man.
Yeah, but now let's think on the new generation, the new guys. Can you name one
modern producer
that, let's say, that popped up in the last 15 years that kind of operates on the same level as those guys that we're talking about here?
Well, I would say just Steven Wilson.
No, but he's not from the last 15 years. Come on.
He is, man. He's well, it's 20. I'm gonna give you 20.
May I remind you?
No, you're right. It's 25.
2025.
Yeah, it's at least 25. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I get you, man. Because I was also thinking of Joey Sturgis, the guy behind the sound of hardcore and all of the metalcore genres. I don't like it, but it's remarkable.
Because, look, Steven Wilson more than likely started off with the rock stuff.
He did with the 90s, man. So of course he did.
Yeah.
So no.
I'm talking about someone who was born and raised into something close to
feeling.
Yeah, to the current climate of music technology.
Well, you got him, man. But it's usually the guys from the hip hop stuff or some of the electronic music guys. But well, do you think it's remarkable? Being very frank, that's a different conversation.
Not gonna say it's bad, but I don't think it lives up to the standard that we're talking about here.
No, it doesn't. That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
But look, trying to be positive again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was supposed to be the outlook, right?
Look, this has been like a proper. We're trying to be fair.
Yeah.
Tough but fair. It also has allowed for many great records to be produced, man.
Yeah.
Not great sounding, but creatively speaking, mind blowing.
Yeah.
And also allowed for many bands that had the good ideas, but nor the resources to pull stuff off. That 25 years ago would have been like, I don't know, for example, Symphony X. Imagine if they released the Odyssey today. It would sound correct, right? The orchestral section at the beginning wouldn't be like, this could be awesome if it actually had orchestra. Because today's virtual instruments and virtual orchestras libraries are
way more powerful, yeah.
Super good, man. Super good. And if you know what I mean, listen to the record. The record is excellent. The song is just fantastic. It's a glorious piece of music. It's called The Odyssey by Symphony X. It's a band that we mention quite often here because it's a fantastic, super underrated band.
The Odyssey, the album, and the Odyssey, the song.
Both are fantastic, but the song is a masterpiece, man. That's one of the tracks like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's not butter. It's incredibly good. And it has an orchestral introduction that is done with the technology available to someone like them in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It sounds like shit.
Yeah, you can believe it's not butter, but we can believe that it's not a real orchestra.
We know there's not orchestra, man. Yeah, but it's so well crafted and so beautifully arranged that you kind of...
No, you overlooked that.
Yeah.
But you know that it could have been better.
It's a tough sale, man.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a shitty attempt at Star Wars. It sounds bad, man. But it's not because of the composition. Like, it sounds like my video games. Got it, man?
Yeah.
Oh, but today it would sound like a freaking orchestra.
Yeah, but the fact that they could do it is already remarkable because they were writing music way beyond the scope of what they had access to.
But I think it's because they used MIDI, man. They went fully. They were taking advantage of technology that even though it's not necessarily up to the standards of today's productions, the scope of the composition could be achieved or could be done in the way they did, or to its fullest potential, thanks to the integration of this new stuff. MIDI is not new, but they using it in such a way. Once you listen to the track, you will understand. Okay.
MIDI has been around since the 80s, right?
Yeah, since the 80s, man. But being able to synchronize it through computers and stuff is what makes something as complex as that introduction to be viable.
Yeah.
Because in mind trying to do that on a workstation, one of those Tritons, you can. Man, you're gonna spend like 3 years just. Believe me, once you listen to the introduction, you're like, nah, man, it has to be done in a computer, in a Pro Tools rig.
Yeah.
Or probably eMagic, aka Logic.
Before. At the time, yeah.
So yeah, it was insane. It is insane. So that's one of the good benefits of this technology, man.
Yeah.
Also, plenty of bands that didn't have the resources or the support of a big label. We're talking about mid-tier bands that have some form of success, but not necessarily the big bucks to hire a fully featured Abbey Road level studio. They managed to make a career for themselves. Think of, for example, the Pagan's Mind. Fantastic band, also prog metal. That's more prog power metal. Great, and they are kind of an indie band in that. If you look at it from that perspective, from the resources level.
Yeah. Also, not ultra big budgets.
Also think in terms of the power metal stuff. In general, those bands were never big in production values, but technology allows them to produce the records they did and actually created a good subgenre.
Yeah.
That became very successful and in a way kind of not inspiring is the word. Inspiring. Yeah, because it's even though it's kind of cheesy to a certain point. Plenty of modern rock and metal has a little bit of inspiration from power metal.
Yeah.
At least musicians that grew up during the early 2000s have plenty of power metal in their veins.
Yeah, as you would.
Because you would listen to it.
Yeah.
It was kind of the hot thing.
And it holds value.
It does. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that the whole thing about accessibility to the means of production, not seizing the means of production.
Never.
But it's not about being an equalizing factor, because I see this angle being mentioned very often as you put everybody on the same level, same playing field. It doesn't. No, it doesn't, because the people on the higher echelons will always have access to better tools,
better marketing machines.
Yeah, better basically everything. So the playing field will never be level, but the tools for being able to get your ideas down, to produce your musical ideas, to get them
to that level,
they exist and they are accessible to most people nowadays.
Yeah.
And even though I'm kind of on the no, it's not even on the fence. I have a bit of a dichotomy going on when it comes to the pros and cons of that very same principle in music.
Because on one hand you're benefited by it, but on the other it's also destroying your chances, right?
Yeah, the thing is that on the one hand it allows for people with talent, with more talent than means, to be able to
at least try it,
to create and give form to their talent.
Yeah.
But it also allows a lot of people that are not that talented to output whatever talentless stuff they're producing.
Yeah, occupying the space, the same space that the talented people needs.
Yeah.
For them to find some form of recognition, not even success.
Yeah, so in the end, it's not that it's hard to measure which one weighs more, the pro or the con, because they're both very big, being very honest.
And both have plenty of arguments on their end. In support of each other. So yeah, it's kind of difficult, man.
Yeah.
And especially someone like me that made a living out of it, I truly find myself in this very, very... I don't want to sound hypocritical. Because I can't say that... I don't like the idea of this whole democratization of music production. Because it truly ruined music in general, in my opinion. But at the same time, it allowed me to make a career. And so I always try to be as subjective as possible, because if I want to look at it from the most positive outlook, but while still retaining some form of objectivity, I would say that those tools that are used to create shitty music and are destroying the notion of music are also available for you to create better music, and the best should prevail, and it always does. Because the only good shit is the one that survives the test of time. Because being very frank with you, do you truly believe that? Do you remember any of the shitty 90s super clearly plastic products, musically speaking?
Like you're referring to what?
Mini Vanilla, all of those guys? No, nobody remembers them.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were a flash in the pan. But you still talk about freaking Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
So you don't need to trust me, bro. It's factual. That's how our society develops. So even though I am very aware of how the destructive power of this recording revolution that is, because it's no longer happening, man. These last 15 years truly put it to the point on which everybody had a studio and all of the studios closed, of course, man, because it's oversaturation. And since music moved from being there are not that many bands anymore, and it's not that rock and roll is dead. No, man. The thing is that everybody and their mother had a band in the 2000s and 10s, man. That's why I managed to create a career, because there was a huge demand for this. Everybody was doing it. Nowadays, 15 years later, incredibly enough.
Yeah.
Of course, the cultural zeitgeist will change, and a good thing never lasts forever. And now it equalized, because I look at this as a good thing, because the ones who survived are the ones that are here to stay. Because I can assure you that we also saw the same, or they also saw the same kind of huge demand for recording environments during the 70s.
I imagine so.
Of course, everybody had a band.
Yeah.
And everybody, of course, it wasn't as easy. It was way more expensive. But that also meant that the people recording will put the freaking effort. Will try to get there ready. Will be sharp. It's not that they will totally waste your time when in the studio, because they're rehearsing the freaking track, or even worse, learning the freaking drum pattern when the microphones are already recording.
Yeah.
Just saying, that never happened to me. Damn it.
Look, you were mentioning the whole notion of trying to be fair when it comes to
Tough
but fair, of course. The being grateful for the opportunities that comes out of the technology that we have access to nowadays, versus understanding the problems that it causes. But I think it's very important for us to be aware that technology has no conscience, has no intent.
Yeah, there is no, it's agnostic.
Yeah, it's the way we use it. So whenever we're talking about, for instance, the problems that comes out of technology, it's not really out of technology. It's out of people. It's out of
it's a culture.
mindset. It's out of culture.
It's the way that we are interacting with it.
Because given the state of music technology, where a lot of things that were unthinkable, let's say 40 years ago, are kind of easy to attain nowadays, the natural consequence of that reasoning would be that music would be reaching new heights.
Yeah, because you have way better tools, way more accessible, way cheaper than before.
Yeah.
And accessible to anybody with at least with a little bit of a spare cash.
Yeah. But it's not.
But it's not happening.
It's not what we see around.
I think it's because we don't have the same situation that pushed or the involvement. Because when something's expensive, you squeeze it.
Yeah.
And you care for it, right? But when something's cheap, you look at it from a very banal perspective. And you don't truly put the effort on learning how to use it. Which takes me to the next one. I think modern technology, one of the great takes from it is that it allows for way better, incredibly much more advanced live than ever before.
Oh, that's true.
And not only for your Madonnas, even for a mid-tier, even a cover band that truly puts the effort.
Yeah, can bring some high production values.
Incredibly high production values, including lasers.
Yeah.
Synchronized to the music.
Yeah.
And at a very affordable price. Not cheap.
It takes some know-how, of course.
It involves a lot of know-how, but the thing is that we got a freaking... Don't you guys have phones? For real?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can ask your spy device of choice, and it will give you the information required for you to pull it off, man. And because you can truly have synchronized video with synchronized laser shows, with synchronized everything to the backing track, which is also a high point of discussion in the whole rock and roll environment. So what do you think? First and foremost, the positive, fantastic technology at a very affordable price.
Yeah, indeed. And because a lot of the use of technology are usually seen by the people that can't take advantage of them as illegitimate.
Yes, the plebs.
Yeah, because it's coping mechanism, you know.
Coping, yes. How dare you to do what I want to do, but I don't know how to.
Yeah.
No, I asked my spy device.
But look, if we're talking about, there's very few more legit aspects to making music than performing music live. So you cannot say that if you're doing something that makes your live performance better, that's to be illegitimate.
And also, do you want to win? If you're in a competitive environment, let's say the cover band, thing. I know that right now is not necessarily the best of times because there are not that many venues and stuff. I get it.
It's kind of bouncing back now.
It will bounce back. Yeah, it's starting to come back, and you'll see that rock bar, because that cannot be killed, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole experience of hitting a bar with your friends and a bar having an actually good cover band,
mm-hmm.
it's always better than having videos being played on the screen.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if they manage to, for example, I don't know, like, let's say play an Aerosmith song with an orchestra, they can have the orchestra with them
mm-hmm.
through the use of proper backing tracks,
mm-hmm.
which are way more accessible than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
The tools for it are very much accessible to anybody, and if you are in a band, you know that you have to buy gear, and even though it's not necessarily it's not a guitar pedal, it's not a new pair of cymbals, but it's as expensive as one,
mm-hmm.
but it could completely change the way you perceive your income out of music, man.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the whole integration with MIDI systems, allowing you to have synchronized light shows, man.
Yeah.
At a very affordable price is beyond belief, man.
Mm-hmm.
When I began doing this live show thing back in the early 2000s, I was a kid, of course, I sucked. But, and I had no money, man, so it was as shitty as it could be, man. But I always tried to learn from Pink Floyd, because Pink Floyd, back in the day, they were famous for having the whole notion of the light show from Pink Floyd has always been a very important and integral part of the whole Pink Floyd experience.
Yes.
Live. That and sound.
Mm-hmm.
They always went as far as they needed to make sure that the sound for the venue was as good as it could, because they were famous for carrying their own PAs and shit.
Yeah.
So I always took that very close to heart, because they're paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
The audience, of course, I gotta deliver the best I can.
Yeah, they deserve the best.
Yeah, they do. So I always explored the possibilities of using some form of light show,
mm-hmm.
because back in the day, Pink Floyd, and the idea came from I was reading about their early stuff, and they had mirror-based kaleidoscopes, man.
Mm.
Like, okay, I know those because one of my uncles had one from the disco era, man. Like, that's so ass. No, man. Okay, but that's what they could afford, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but see how far they went.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But that's caring first and foremost.
I'm trying to do something, man, because that's what I learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to do the same with a projector for presentations.
Mm-hmm.
But what am I gonna show? A freaking PowerPoint or what? Shit. So I did my research, and then I learned, and probably one of the reasons why I got a Mac. There is an environment called Quartz, or back in the day, Quartz, which is a very integral part of the core audio. I'm gonna go super nerd in this one, but it's part of the core elements of what controls a good chunk of the visual and the graphic shit on the Mac.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can program it because it uses a node-based, a block-based programming environment. So if you don't need to learn code per se, you need to learn how the logic behind the connections works.
Okay.
So long story short, allows you to create a 3D computer graphics that could be modulated through an audio signal.
Okay.
And that audio signal could come from an external source, such as a microphone. So he actually programmed shitty blocks that move with my voice and stuff, with cubes spinning in the space, and that move with the microphone stuff. I could do it. So that's why you have seen me ever since you met me, like animated. We can do something beyond and above, because it's possible.
Yeah.
The thing is that the know-how, it's very, very, very big, man. Because you start to get into, damn, I gotta learn computing science. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You gotta become a little bit of a scientist yourself. So what do you think?
Look, the thing is that this go-getter attitude towards knowing the technology, kind of getting a grasp on the use of technology, is part of the craft. Because nowadays the playing field for music is
super competitive.
Look, computers are an integral part of music making nowadays.
Yeah.
Depending on genre or in many things, to a lesser or higher degree.
But you might even make the case that computing science has always been part of music making.
Yeah.
Because even a synthesizer is not an analog computer, but you see what I'm going with this.
Yeah. No, seeing how there is this very intense connection in between the use of this particular piece of technology and the craft that you love, making music, why wouldn't you dive a little bit deeper, understand how to use it, try to make the most of it?
My mentality has always been this. I want to do this. I don't know how.
I don't know it can be done.
I know it can be done, so let me see how can it be done. Damn. But it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you open a gigantic can of worms, but it's possible.
But it's possible. So, well, it's gonna be harder than I thought. Let's do it. Yeah, but it's that, man. And it's something that being active in this current era in which the technology we have access to allows us to do. Man, the stuff that I can do today, 10 years ago, would have been incredible. I wouldn't buy it, man. I would like, man, you're shit, man.
Yeah.
10 years ago, man. Do I have to remind you that the Don got elected 8 years ago?
Yeah.
So it's not that far away, man.
No, it's insane how...
It's very, but the jump has been gigantic. I'm gonna use this one. For example, guitar modelers. The whole notion of guitar rigs being completely different.
Yeah.
Over here, I got a wall of amplifiers. Big as all hell.
Yeah.
Heavy as all balls.
But they look good.
They're awesome. Man. I love it. But they're super expensive to keep rocking. And every time you move them, you hear them rattling. You don't like that, man.
No.
So now in mind taking them to a gig. You know that every time you're in the like. I hope when I get to the gig, it works. And when you're back, I hope it's still working. So it's always that, man. So you are never happy. Then an amplifier of this caliber, valve amplifiers, you need to push them. You haven't heard them. I keep telling you, they are loud. Once you have the chance of seeing how, I have no way to describe how loud they gotta be for them to sound the way they do, man. It's obscene. It's blasphemously loud. So you go to the gig. So it sounds like ass. Yeah, so the sound doesn't translate. You're not inspired. Blah blah blah. But now with freaking digital recreations, goddamn.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that allow you to make the one I like, my weapon of choice, and this channel has plenty of content related to it, is Tonex, which allows me to make snapshots out of my amplifiers.
Yeah.
So every tone I develop here in the studio while working, this was good. Let me make one. So that way I can carry it with me whenever I go.
So kind of best of both worlds.
It's basically the best of both. The thing is that I got into this whole thing with modeling in the early 2000s as well, because I never owned a good amplifier in my life when I was a kid, because I either had a shitty, like one of those tiny Yamaha practice amps. That was the loudest I ever got.
Yeah.
Because then I got lucky, and probably when they saw that I was so insane, my parents like, let's try to help the kid with something less terrible.
Throw the kid a bone.
Yeah, throw a bone. So a bone they threw, and I got my first, my Boss big multi-effects unit with modeling. So I was doing that before it was even cool, man. And of course, I didn't know how to use it. I always got shitty sounds because I was dumb. And also never having the experience of actually knowing what a proper amplifier sounds like in real life. I want to play metal, so let's go for the one that says metal and crank up the gain. Because gain, according to what I know, is the metal. It sounds like it was shit, man. But that forced me to man, I gotta make it sound good. At one point, this thing has to sound good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got it to be, okay, this is actually convincing. And because I stuck to my guns I never replaced that guy. No,
That's good.
Yeah, because I only got later. I got a amplifier, bad amplifiers, small amplifiers. That's why I have some here. That I used for live shows in conjunction with that guy. Then I discovered there is loopback, which is allowing me to put without amplifier. It's better. It's better for delays and reverbs on guitar
and more funky stuff.
Yes, and then I'm like, if there was a way for me to connect the built-in effects of my board and combining them with my amplifier. Spy Device, tell me. Yes, there is a... And I did. And damn. And later on, the entire band, I was making pedals for everybody. And making sure, like, nah, you're not going to suck, dude. Because you're playing by my side, and if you suck, the one who sucks is me. But, well, because you suck on my behalf. So on my behalf, basically...
You're basically sucking by your osmosis.
Yeah, they were rocking my gear, man. They were rocking my pedals and shit. So, but why? Because okay, man. Wanna win? Yeah. Win. Don't play to lose. So, get me?
Makes sense.
Makes sense, right? Rocket science.
And look, you've been talking about the live game and how it was improved, but even at a step back, just the practicing tools, the tools we have to be able to practice more efficiently. They are insane now.
Yeah, let me show you. Let me bring the mini amp. That thing is a joke.
You were talking about modeling something. Look, even before thinking about hitting a stage, you are able now at the comfort of your own room to hear how a guitar should sound like and play to it
through something like this.
Yeah.
This is no, man. You know what this is.
Yeah.
When I got it, the fuck. Look, it looks like an amp. It's an amp, but it gotta sound like this.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, because of course. But
yeah. This thing actually, it feels quite sturdy, even though it's like
actually,
tiny.
No, it's hefty, man.
Yeah,
It's actually proper.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, that's a positive grid. Yeah, I think it's a bias. With one of those bias amps, this is the smallest they got.
Yeah.
This is always by my side because this is what I use for practicing purposes. Because in here I have a clean and lead sound, so I can practice guitar. But also has Bluetooth. You plug the guitar here, and you use the Bluetooth, so you can have backing tracks.
Yeah. Incredible. No, for real. This
practical as all hell.
Yeah.
Also, it's loud enough for it to be actually respectable. And if you want to go wired, it has a headphone output with the mix of both. And the best part, you control the output of the amplifier, the guitar sound, and the output of the backing tracks independently. Man, if you told me that this was going to happen 15 years ago, like, nah.
And caringly nicknamed Ampzito.
Ampzinho. Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's actually incredible.
And the tone?
It sounds very good, actually.
Yeah, look.
Surprisingly good.
It's not butter. It's one of those.
And look, the guitar players, even though they have a hard time having the means to practice correctly, it's still not that bad.
Not that bad.
But in the realm of drumming, that can be a deal breaker, actually.
It's basically impossible.
Because it can be something that if you don't have the means to have a space, for instance, to put a drum kit, up until not that long ago, well, so a while ago now, because electric drumming has been around for a while.
Since Phil Collins, but,
but
having one that doesn't suck is not necessarily old.
Yeah, so the whole advent of electric drums, the way we have them now, is insane. Because you can have it in your bedroom to practice at your convenience, almost silently, with a variety of sounds, a degree of control. No, so many tools, and even now the modules, they come with good practicing tools as well.
And you don't have to go for the good stuff, man.
No, you don't need to.
Because if you want something just for practicing purposes, you can even one of those shitty Amazon drum kits could get the job done.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend.
That far, no, but you can.
Yeah.
You can, but you don't need to spend that much money. If you truly want to get something that is respectful for practicing purposes, probably with less than $500, you're very much covered.
You're good to go. Yeah.
And it's basically have a cymbal.
It is.
Half of a professional cymbal.
And not even accounting for the space itself that you would.
This is way slimmer, and sound-wise is basically unaudible. So many things that 10 years ago, again, 15 years ago in this case, I wouldn't buy it because I was already rocking for rehearsal purposes back in the early 2000s an electric trumpet. It sucked. That was bad, man. It was impossible to use. You have here Straddle or us. Stop, how's it going, man?
Hey, man.
He's saying you have to respect the parents of drummers the most agreed, man. Because having known drums for a good chunk of my life, but out of running the studio, I know they're big, loud as old balls, and not even you cannot be loud. You can't be quiet.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because if you go quiet, you're not playing. You are hitting it with your thumb. It's not making sounds. It's
Look,
just.
you're talking from the perspective of a studio where, on the most part, ideally, allegedly, you would have people that already know what they're doing. But imagine a kid learning the instrument at the house.
I'm banging it, man, because
Poor parents, man.
No, even when you're an adult, man, because I have met people who are who learned or working here in the studio. I once had this project in which I worked with guys who were in their 50s, right? But they started off their first band during that period of their life. Like, no, that's good. Yeah, I respect that because you're having fun. And what are you doing? Just for fun.
Yeah. Just having a good time.
Honest, yeah, having the good time and experiencing the whole thing, living the rock and roll fantasy, right? Recording their own stuff and everything, right? And this guy, drummer, super nice guy. He was like, man, this is the first time I have ever played loud.
Damn.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah,
Because, well, if you're practicing at home, you can't.
Yeah.
And in a rehearsal room, yeah, but it's not the same because you're playing with the rest of the band. So of course, everybody's gonna crank up everything, so you can't hear anything. Yeah. So it was the first time that he was actually playing by his own, as loud as he could. It's very different. You don't tell.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. But it's that, man, because you truly the conditions for you to have a proper drumming space. It's virtually impossible, man.
Yeah, it's very tough. Yeah.
And as a kid, as Strad is saying, you gotta. Blessed are those whose offspring has access to a drumming room, because it's tough to do, man.
It is indeed.
It's tough to do. Even guitar amplifiers, you need to crank them up correctly to actually get the juice. And there are certain things that you learn as a guitar player until you work with the actual gear.
Yeah, the way that is supposed to be cranked up. Yeah.
Yeah, because for example, the big difference between somebody like Joe Bonamassa and somebody who's playing on Instagram is that Joe Bonamassa, besides being very good on guitar, he's great with his gear. His sound is the sound of somebody who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Who truly understands the inners of an amplifier. And that comes from him being able to have the chance to work with amplifiers on their sweet spots, allowing him to develop the taste and the technique that comes with that taste, because it also inspires you to play better. It's like playing with drums and keeping it quiet. You can, but would you deliver?
Not in the same way.
No, no. Or let's say you're playing with a small drum kit, and you want to play Van Halen. You can play it.
It's not gonna be the same.
You won't play the same way.
No.
Yeah, here's Strad saying. Exactly. I'd spend money on a pedal, and my drummer friend wouldn't even have half a cymbal for that money. Yes. There are things that
not easy, man.
Not easy, man. But being a drummer is expensive. And even today with this new production methodology and stuff, man, it's still not as cheap as you would like it to be.
No, but it's way more affordable than it used to be.
The thing is that when you are a guitar player, you kind of tend to think that it's not as expensive as something like a drum kit. The issue is that it piles up quickly, and in the end, you end up a fully featured guitar rig is as expensive, if not slightly more expensive, than a fully featured drum rig. I'm not going for big stupidities, right? Because on both ends.
Yeah.
Because guitar pedal boards can go insane, and also cymbals can go to the infinity, man.
Yeah.
But when it comes to having a proper and professional, not even respectable, pro level rig that does it all, you're gonna end up in the same ballpark.
Yeah, more than likely. The thing that whenever you go pro, usually you're gonna have to spend a considerable amount of money.
Several thousands, man.
Because the entry point for guitar playing, I think, is lower than the entry point for drumming. Thinking on
Piece by piece, yes.
Yeah.
But you don't play electric guitar with a guitar. You play electric guitar with a guitar, amplifier, and cabinet.
Yes.
And when you sum it up, it's more than a freaking drum kit.
That's true. That's true.
And that's the issue. And a proper drum kit with cymbals, yes, they're expensive. And the shells, they're expensive.
Yeah.
But going for something better than what? $5,000, and I'm going.
Yeah, that's going
very aggressive.
Yeah, going high end.
Have you seen the price for a Marshall head? A good one?
How much?
3,000. It's usually 2,000. Yeah. The cabinet, 1,000 something, and a guitar.
Yeah.
No man, it's already, and you don't have pedals. There, yet.
Yeah. And the pedal game can go on forever.
Yes or no, man. That's the thing, because it's easy for a guitar player to think, because you do it one by one.
Yeah.
Drums, you need to buy the whole thing one exposition.
Yeah, at least having the shells and the basic set of cymbals.
Yeah, the situation with bass players have it easy. They don't even need to. they don't even need to be on session.
What are bass players saying?
Yeah, well, a mythical creature, man.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Bass life matters.
Yes, allegedly. But whatever. The point is that I think the guitar player dies the death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Because when you start to see
the never-ending story with the pedals and stuff.
The quest for tone that never ends, and when you start to see, oh shit, my life choices have been not necessarily the best.
Look at the floor, see.
Yeah, you see
thousands of dollars in front of you.
Thousands of dollars on gear, man, and then you look on the side, like the amplifier, like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it here because I do this for a living, but when I see some rigs online, like, damn, just for you to play in your bedroom, man, and if you're lucky, just to hit church, dude. Priorities. And look, I don't have anything against you. If you have the means, please have fun. I'm just saying that.
Be mindful.
Be mindful. Just be mindful.
Yeah, just do it in a coherent fashion for your.
Yeah, because I have no issues with people spending money. I'm actually happy for them because it's awesome. It's awesome. When you have the means, do it. Just be conscious, man, because I see a little bit of and that's probably one of the benefits of a downturn when it comes to the technology becoming so good, particularly on the whole guitar thing. It's so advanced.
Yeah.
It's so good, man, that it makes the entire thing exciting, man. Because whenever you see people like FOMO, sorry, it's kicking in, right? Like Monkey Rain once again gets like,
I want that.
I want that.
Yeah.
But you already have 3 delay pedals. Why would you need a 4th one? Because that one is different. It is, and that's the problem. Like, yeah, it's a tough way to deny it. Sorry, I even couldn't find a better way to answer to myself, but it's that kind of mentality, man.
Yeah, indeed.
It becomes like a never-ending story because there is always that thing, man, that you don't know if it might start the spark of inspiration.
No, the thing is that if they can bring something new to the table, they can be. It's not like they're gonna be the panacea, but the next new thing.
Yeah.
Without trying to feed anybody's FOMO, but it actually can be a new input that's gonna take your music different places.
That's a thing. That's a thing because you can get inspired.
So I'm giving you good arguments to.
Yeah. Whenever you
keep spending money.
Whenever your wife catches you looking at photos of stuff you shouldn't be looking at, for example, guitars.
Yeah, guitar pedals.
Yeah, guitar pedals. And tell her, this could be my magnus opus.
Yeah.
Woman,
this is gonna inspire my masterpiece.
This could be my masterpiece, don't you say? Yeah. Don't do it. It never works, and George is just gonna get even more mad at you. But here, Strat saying that true. I just bought 4 attenuators for different amps. Point taken regarding how loud they can go and stuff. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Because you truly need them to be cooking.
Yeah.
And but once you do it, it's magic, man. And believe me, when you have the cabinet far enough,
yeah,
roaring, you do the. Let me do it because You do the Martin McFly thing.
Yeah.
You feel it. Like,
Yeah.
You hear like, oh damn. The A minor chord, like,
Yeah.
you feel like, damn.
This is the real deal.
Yes, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, damn. And that clearly inspires you, man. That's why, and that's a con. Nowadays, with the fantastic models we got, you need to have a roaring speaker pushing her in the room.
Doesn't deliver the magic.
You don't have that magic, man.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the reasons why modern guitar playing is said to have lost its soul, because a good chunk of what inspires you to play in a certain way is the visceral
reaction to the mass of sound.
Mass. And also how it inspires the rest of the band to play in a different direction, man.
Yeah.
Because in mine being, I don't know, freaking Deep Purple, when they were getting prepared for recording, I don't know, Howie Star. It went the crescendo, man, where everybody's doing it to bam, bam, bam. No, man.
That hits
I'm
like
getting even goosebumps just by thinking on how it felt when they were rehearsing that.
Loud. I can tell for sure. No doubt. Yes, it was loud.
Loud, man. But that's why you hear that energy, man. The excitement, the way that the singing, Ian Gillan in that one is no bad. You can feel it.
So high energy.
Yeah, high octane shit, man. And it's the result of this, man. And since everybody's now doing the princess level of, I'm gonna take care of my ears because I'm that guy. Never go loud for anything. I know that I might have the benefit of having realized how important it is, so I always keep that in my head. But it's something that that's what allows me to know that you're missing something. Because even rehearsing, we like to practice with in-ears for obvious reasons. It's much more, each of us can have a different mix, and also allows for a much more critical, analytic approach to what you're doing. It's sterile.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, it's clinical. It's not raw.
Which has its purposes, but it can also be a deterring factor when it comes to making music feel real.
Yes, exactly. And that's why back when we hit the stages, I always wanted to have some form of monitoring, even though I was rocking my in-ears, because pushing air, man. And it's very important, man. I even showed you the stool that I want to get.
Yeah, the one that
vibrates. There's a stool that is connected to. It's ridiculous. It has some form. It has a speaker, so it's actually blasting your ass with the sound of the mix.
Yeah.
As a drummer, when I saw, like, man, that's kind of stupid, man. But then, wait a second. Once you start to hit proper stages, like, no, man, you can hear shit.
Yeah.
And the drummer is like there, and the amplifier is there, if there is an amplifier. So how can he get kick him in the butt? Actually, the name of the device is the butt kicker.
That's
actually
awesome.
Yeah, the name alone is already it's already a purchase on my end. But it's something that is missing, man, and that's something that the Instagram guitar player suffers of.
But look, I think we go once again full circle when it comes to the flow of this conversation. It's because we're talking about the generation of people that didn't live through the real deal before reaching these technologies.
And look, it's very related to what Stride is saying. He's saying that when you get appreciated by your band for your idea, that they build on, great feeling. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it comes to this interaction, man.
Yeah.
That I realized when I began this whole thing with bands that you might have a good idea, but if it's not presented correctly, first impressions, man.
Yeah.
And the best way to present it correctly, loud.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
No. Just look, the whole notion of being in it already, having lived through the real thing before you start looking for more efficient,
right?
So
it's like a present.
Yeah, but look, now using the thing with drums, for instance, I am big proponents of electric drums. I think they are fantastic tools, and I do recommend them as
totally
as practicing tools, or even nowadays can even be taken to professional scenarios
based on the needs.
But it can be done. But I'd say you're just getting in touch with music. Say, okay, drums seem to be cool. Before you even touch an electric drum kit, you should F it up on a drum kit, on a real drum kit. You should see how a cymbal wobbles.
Why?
Because once you feel that, you will know what's the real deal, and you will know what to pursue with the electric drum kit is trying to mimic something that is real. It's not the real deal.
It's an emulation.
It's an emulation. You will know what you're trying to emulate, and it's important to know what you're trying to emulate.
Oh, good point.
The same goes for amps.
Yep.
Because nowadays the latest technology in modeling is insane. How good they sound.
Way too good, man.
But if you don't know the real deal, you don't know what you're modeling.
Yeah. For example, I this morning I was working on a track, and I a pedal board. I know, how fancy of me, but I have a pedal board that I designed for studio use, for drafting. I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. How terrible my existence. Yeah, of course not. But because I design it in a way that is straight to point, and just by press button, just getting, and it's very bare bones. It's like 5 pedals, but it's rocking a modular system. The thing is that I'm using a particular pedal that I love, and I think it's the best pedal I got on that board, the universal audio one.
The
aux pedal. If you happen to be a guitar guy and using modulars, please, and I can't stress enough, you should truly give a look at that pedal. I'm not sponsored by Universal Audio yet, but I wanna be, because I happen to not only use their. I know of them. I'm looking at one of my Universal Audio piece of for studio here I have in front of me right now. But because I actually fell in love with them by using their preamps and stuff in the studio environment. But whatever. The thing is this: the aux pedal. Look it up. It's basically a cabinet simulation pedal. It's the only thing it does.
Yeah.
I know it's not fun, but it's the thing that makes it different, man. My big board, the one that I actually use for performing and writing music, is not comprised of that guy. It has another good solution, but it doesn't go as deep as the aux goes. The aux sounds so good, man.
It does indeed.
But why? Because, and maybe that's the reason why it's kind of a sleeper hit. It needs you to understand how to mic up a cabinet. And since I have done it for 15 years, man.
Yeah.
Having that level of control.
Yeah.
Man, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, I think that not that many people nowadays are able to take advantage of something like this.
Yeah, but I truly recommend. Man, don't you guys have phones? Once again, how to mic up plenty of videos. Different degrees of success.
Yeah.
And since the thing has no way to do it, because it's based on untold numbers of variables, it's all about taste. Just to realize, so there is no solution. The only solution is me.
Getting good.
Just get good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a skill issue.
Yeah.
Basically speaking, and once you develop, you start to do the research, and just you have access to something like as the aux pedal. Damn! I truly cannot stress enough how important that is and how good it is. I might even create a video in this channel for this, explaining why I love it so much.
Yeah.
So, once again, it takes us back to the point of having the previous experience, man, of the real deal.
Yeah.
Because probably that's the takeaway from this conversation.
Yeah, I think so.
Is the fact that technology has become so good that if you grow up using this extremely good environment, it's not that you're spoiled. You don't know what you got.
Yeah.
That's why it's so throwaway for a good chunk of people. Here, straight saying, do you think it is to get the full heft of a kick and snare in a kick plugin? I don't hear it. Good question. It is. It is possible. I do it often here when mixing. The thing is this. You need to understand what you should look for. Let me try to find a way to explain it, because it's very tough. Probably the kick and snare and the bass, and I think I can relate, man, because when I started off this mixing thing, it was the bane of my existence, man, because I didn't know how to do it, because a record is actually the punch, the energy, the excitement is found in the relationship between the kick and the bass, and having this heft, this thing.
The synergy.
Yeah, you already are having fun online. Tomorrow, by the way, if you want to see this guy ruining and committing seppuku to music, you can do it. He's gonna be mixing.
I'm gonna be doing my best, which is not much to be expected.
Yeah, mixing music. Okay.
Mixing music, yeah.
And he's rocking everything. He's rocking plugins. So that could be. But the thing is this: when working with the digital stuff. At first, I thought that it was because I needed the big gear, the good shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I can afford it, and I'm charging for this. So my only option is retiring or learning. so
Learning it is.
Learning it is.
Yeah.
And what I could recommend you, and you won't believe me, but I learned to do it with headphones.
For real?
Rather than speakers.
Why?
Because on headphones, since the sound is more isolated, it forced me to find that chest pumping thing without being hit by speakers.
So it's harder.
It is way harder because you start to, what I need, where can I find it? Pro tip, is not the kick, it's not the bass, it's both in tandem. So you gotta learn which frequencies to boost. That allows for that magical moment to happen. And I found to do how to do it on the headphones, because the headphones, since they don't hit you, you don't have a subwoofer, you don't have speakers hitting you hard. You actually have to go for the psychoacoustic effect, which is the one that matters, because a loud subwoofer is gonna kick you, man.
Yeah, but in the idealized studio environment, but who's gonna listen in an environment such as this one?
There's not that many people, man.
Yeah.
But it's possible, and headphones is the trick. So my recommendation, I'm gonna look the track that I was working on the moment. I'm gonna be a little bit spilling the beans earlier than I should, but I am working on a track that I will be using for experimentation purposes in the different channels. Explaining, for example, mixing tricks, and I could, for example, and I'm gonna make one about how to get that kick, that hefty punch, hefty punch with this track. And my plan is to make the files that I will be using available for download, so you can replicate the moves as well. And the thing is that I was having a hard time because I decided to go full on fusion, so I made my life impossibly difficult by going for a very cool but complex chord progression, super jazzy that, oh shit. So when trying to play a lead on top of it for recording purposes, like, damn. But whatever. But yeah, you can do it, but you need to truly put more effort, because the hardware will give you harmonics, a little bit of distortion that makes the sound fatter and richer. So if that's the case, there are plugins that mimic that sound, and they're very good. I showed you one on the mix that I was working yesterday.
Yeah, what's the name of the
The name of it's a universal audio plugin. It's called NERP. NERP Machines. Recommended. It's saturation. It has like 4 or 5 different saturation circuits. And each of them, some of them are based on transistors, some of them are tape saturation, blah, blah, blah.
There's another awesome one, the one that I actually got in my mix. It's not Tractor, what's the name? The orange one. The yellow, kind of yellow one.
SPL, is the SPL, yeah, I know which one.
The big one, the big yellow one.
I don't remember the name. I know which one.
So good, man.
Yeah, please watch that one tomorrow. That thing's so good because it also gave you the poof.
Yeah, exactly.
It did it. So yes, you can. And again, I'm gonna work on the video because I think this is a very good question, and I'm gonna address it on the mixing channel. And I'm gonna come back to you, Strat, because that's actually a good question. Now, continuing with the chat.
I think we might have buried.
No, it's still there.
Okay.
Josh, Good to have you here. It's been a while. How is it going, man?
Hey, Josh, welcome, man.
Saying, as technology and innovation improves, and from a super chat, thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks, man.
As technology and innovation improves, musicians will always look at it as new toys create, as new toys. I should stop doing this, man. Yeah, things that it's farther than you think. And also this screen's shit.
This screen's awful. Yeah.
Speaking of which, so you were saying.
No, you were reading the comment. I didn't know.
Okay, so entertain.
So
sorry, prove that this is live.
So look, I'm gonna take advantage of the shameless plug thing because some of you guys have been with us here in the conversation in this channel.
He's back.
But we also are doing quite a lot of interesting stuff in the production channel where we actually go a little bit more hands-on.
That's nerdier.
It's nerdier, but we also try to keep it entertaining. And actually, the thing that's going on right now, the one that we're going to be doing tomorrow, is full on the entertainment side.
Yeah, because
it's me doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun if you could join us there as well.
Yeah. Now, addressing Josh's comment, he's saying, as technology and innovation improves, musicians will always look at is new toys to create with 100%, and that's why we were mentioning before how you can use that trick to convince your wife to let you buy more gear, because this could be my magnus opus,
and it could. It probably won't, but it could.
In theory, it could. Being very frank, and the opportunity for it to inspire you, that new pedal to turn you into, this is my Mozart moment. It could happen. You don't know, and how can you know if it's not? Buy it.
You gotta have it.
Do it.
Yeah.
So, then here Roman is saying, I think
hey, Roman.
It's a double-edged sword. It will improve you, but also will kill your career. Yeah. Because you can abuse it. And we have given all sorts of different examples of that. And I, looking at my pedal board right now in front of me, the whole thing of not learning the actual craft of rock making, which is part of the visceral reaction to allow everything, man. Being there with the band is kind of lost with technology. And some people, I think, for example, I saw this rare rundown, great channel, Premier Guitar. They the magazine. They have a show that is called Rig Rundown, and they cover and check the rigs of different musicians, guitar players, most of the time, but also bass players, used on the stage of touring musicians. So I learned a lot from those. Totally recommend them, for real. And sometimes, if the musician is not nasty, is the musician himself actually explaining and showing off the toys.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the road, and it's like, okay, whatever. It's not the roadie's fault. It's kind of whatever. And I recommend you watching the ones with Steve Stevens. He's awesome, but also, god damn it, he's gonna blow your head off. What a creative way to use guitar pedals and stuff.
Another very creative guitar player. I think he did also one of those is Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert's
Paul Gilbert
is fantastic, man. Yeah. Because another one of those guys that truly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows it.
No, man, because when he arranges his pedals, it's like, okay.
It's very clever. It's very intelligent.
Intelligent and makes total sense. And where it comes from? Experience. And he's been doing this live thing for so long that for a while, I don't know if you remember, but during the early 2000s, he was wearing protection because he in which he actually
was starting to lose his hearing.
Yeah, he had. I think he recovered from it because he's no longer rocking those. But also, I think he's now many years, man.
Yeah.
Because kids, for real, it's not that I'm trying to convince you or stop you from rocking out, but
be careful.
Be careful, man. Because for real, I am super careful with my hearing, because I do this. But after doing the whole thing with mixing, but once you start to realize that it's not only for mixing, because you learn that the same what happens with eyesight happens to your hearing. The thing is that with eyesight you have a very good reference point. With hearing you don't. You simply forget how it sounded. You lost your range, right? And at one point you're basically deaf, but you don't know. So like, damn. On eyesight, can you see that? No. Okay, you're going blind. Oh, that's it. But with sound, can you describe sound?
Yeah, because it starts to lose frequencies. Not only that, it's not that you stop hearing sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of diminish your capabilities of hearing the entirety of what you should.
Yes.
And that's why it's a little bit more subtle. It kind of creeps in a more subtle fashion.
And here, this is a good example of technology being super good. Here, Strat is saying, on Logic, you can sing with a guitar and get instant tempo on the track. It's called a smart tempo. Yeah, it blew your head. Yes, it's insane, man.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of the AI stuff that is now being implemented on Logic. If I recall correctly, the newest version of Logic also has a little bit of assistance for lyrics. Like not writing the lyrics for you, but like correcting grammatic or no, it's not grammar. It's more on the it's the grammar. Checking if what you're saying makes sense based on the English language.
Yeah.
So it's actually that's the kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
Because it truly inspires you.
Yeah, but I'm kind of on the fence about this kind of things that are borderline doing it for you. Even if he's not doing it for you all the way, he still is making your life way too much easier.
But you'll see, man, I for one, when writing lyrics, it's always, maybe it's because of how moronic my take on writing lyrics is. But since I write the music first and then the melody and never care for the lyrics until the very end, I always find myself in those spots in which like, I want to stick to this melody. I can't find words. And you start to come up with the craziest ways to say something. And sometimes you kind of do it in a non-correct fashion.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And having something like that that allows you to triple check is basically
net.
I see it as an editor, man, of some sorts, because it's always better to have another pair of eyes, hypothetically speaking, because it's not. I'm not asking for suggestions. You get me?
Yeah.
It's good, and also I speak more than English, and that kind of gets in your head, man.
Yeah.
So at times, depending on what I had for breakfast, my English is better than my French, but at times it's not. And it helps, man. It supports you very much. Here Roman is saying, Bob Dylan was known as a folk singer. When he swapped his acoustic for an electric, he lost a lot of fans, yes. But also acquire new ones. Some fans find it hard to accept their idols embracing the new. Good point. Because it reminds me of this record by Joe Satriani. It's called Engines of Creation.
Which one was that?
It's the one that sucks.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, that one is the one. Is the one he released after Crystal Planet. Badass record. It's the first album from the 2000s. I think he released that one in 2001. It sucks. Why? He replaced the band with electronic music. Then tired of it. He's playing guitar on techno beats and stuff. Not that it's techno songs. It's not beats. It's actually proper music.
Yeah.
But everybody hates on it because, dude, what the hell? And why? Because he wanted. It was the beginning of electronic music, kind of being not new, but at that point it's been around for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
But it was starting to be less obscure, more not even mainstream, a little bit more widely acceptable.
Yeah.
And it was the sound of the future, right? So yeah, he adopted those elements, and already he likes it. But you can listen to some of the tracks played with the band in this live show. Is live at San Francisco. I think it got released in 2005. Man, those songs are amazing. Beautiful tracks. Because it clearly shows that he wrote them with a rock band in mind, but he wanted to do the new thing. Let's see, 56. It didn't. It was too much of and in the case of Satch, he didn't bring new blood in, because it's kind of techno sounding, similar to, heavily inspired by early stuff by Paul Van Dyke and Armin van Buuren. So it's not awful, but it's like, this is no Satch. I can't see Joe Satriani. I can hear amazing guitar playing, but you don't know what to pay attention to.
Gotcha.
But great track, for example, Devil's Light. That track slaps, man. And also, what's the name of the ballad? The ballad is excellent. I can't remember the name, but whatever. I will share it later on.
But look, also the adoption of technology comes with the risk of sucking. That's something that also needs to be acknowledged. That if you want to be at the forefront, something is new is coming up. You want to bring that into your music. You want to use that as a creative force into what you do.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to suck.
Yeah.
Because chances are is what's gonna happen because it's new to you.
Yeah.
So, but he also can strike gold.
Yeah, and look.
Strike gold.
Yeah. The conversation we had in the morning where I shared with you my monstrosity, I got a plan.
There's something very cool in the pipeline, actually.
Yeah, but it's insane. Because yesterday I went full on autistic. I came back from the gym, and there is something called modular synthesizer. Can you show them?
I cannot because this guy's off.
No. Give me the synth.
Okay.
Look, for those of you who are not familiar with this, this is a semi-modular synthesizer. Okay. It has holes, and you can use them to patch stuff in. Okay. The thing is that you can create an array of these boxes, and make a freaking computer from the Jetsons, like like that. Okay. The thing is this. I figured out a way to use them to create a monstrosity to be used with a live rock band, because yes, we're making new music. Look at that. You're finally making new music.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I decided it's just a reason for me to buy new shit. We need a gimmick. So like, how about this? And I explain the plan. I won't explain the plan to you right now, guys, because
it's a little bit soon for this, but
it's very soon.
Yeah.
It's not even hasn't even hit the drawing board. It's just at that level, but you know that's like with communism in theory it works.
Yeah.
But it's insane, and the capabilities of the device will be monstrous.
Yeah.
The thing is this: it might ruin my music.
Chances are.
Or it could break new ground. We don't know. There's no way to know.
I guess we'll see.
We will see. And you remember saying to a musician these days, you also need to incorporate video. People need something to see while they hear music. Yes, music ruined that for us. Agreed, man. Well said.
Yeah.
I hear a song on the radio, but I think of the video. Kinda right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I listen to Enter Sadman, I see Kirk Hammett running. I don't know. That's from the MTV, the music video for.
Which one?
I Disappeared, when they produced the song for the second Mission Impossible movie, the one that sucks. You know which one, right?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a good song. But Enter Sadman, I think of them running from a school bus.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day, it's like, that's not a nightmare scenario. I don't know what kind of trauma you have in order for you to find that frightening, man.
But look, what this that Roman is mentioning is actually very relevant. This attachment of music and video in the current way that people consume music. I'll even say it would be a worthy topic for a full-on conversation.
Yeah, we should have a conversation next week, because it's something that we had to learn the hard way. That's why you found us, and that's why we're having this conversation, because we had to come to terms with that shit, because like, nah, man, like Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Sticking to our guns, good music is king. No, man. Music hasn't been king since the 80s, man. So
arguably since before, or even ever.
Or even earlier, yes, we don't know, but yeah. So, in a nutshell, what would be your final comments?
Look, my final comments...
Good conversation, by the way, because we actually explored more than we thought.
Yeah, and look, great to have you guys here. Some of you interacting here with us. It's always good having this back and forth.
Yes.
Because these are supposed to be open conversations.
That's the whole point of these shows.
But, so I'm going to be drawing my final comments. If you want to drop your final comments,
this is your chance.
Yeah. So, technology in music. It was mentioned before, but I think it's a good outtake to have. Technology doesn't have an intention. It's not good or bad. It's not evil or benevolence. It's a tool.
Yes.
And I think as any tool, there are great ways to use it, and there are very bad ways to use it as well. But at an inception level, there is something to be taken with care. Anything that has the potential to make your life easier, to make things more efficient, more expedite, easier in any form, also has the potential to make you slack and to make you not develop some of the skills that you could be developing if you have picked the hard route.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should abolish technology and become a
Luddite.
yeah, and masochist
Yes.
and trying to get the hardest route for anything.
Yeah.
But be aware of how much you're missing on the learning side of things by taking the easy route. Because at times it's going to be better maybe to take a step back, maybe not take full advantage yet of the whole the technology has to offer. Go the learning route. Okay, this is a little bit trickier. This might require a little bit more of me, but it's going to make me hone my skills. And maybe further down the road, I can actually use the technology ease to make something better after I have learned what I had to learn.
It's extremely... It's not the same, but it's very similar or relevant to what my final comment is going to be as well, man. Because I always recommend for anything we do, but let's say I'm going to focus on music, right? It's very easy to always be chasing or lusting after the next shiny thing you see, right? But it's very important for you to first learn how to use the stuff you have access to right now before you start to dig a new hole for you.
Yeah.
Because it's basically speaking the promotion or the exploration of procrastination, man. It's very common nowadays because since we have everything so accessible to us, because back in the day it was even a hassle buying a pedal. You had to hit you gotta hit the car and find the actual music store close to you, and usually the closest to you was the smallest one.
Yeah.
So if they didn't have it, you have to go to a bigger one. Maybe sometimes even having to call somebody on the other side of the freaking country.
Yeah.
And nowadays, log on to Amazon, order, arrives today. No more thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
So that whole the whole process, the whole experience behind acquiring new gear in the case of technology applied to music, has this pursuit of the know-how behind the stuff we get.
Yeah.
We already have. Sorry. So I would recommend using the whole mixing thing. Okay, plugins and stuff. It's also mixing is not exclusive to mixing engineers. Also, a musician has access to those tools. Nowadays, you should, as a musician, of course, learn something about music production and mixing. Not becoming a full-time music producer or mixer.
But having a grasp.
Have an idea, man, because it's very important. You're going to be dealing with that anyway. So don't fall for the trap of buying plugins just because they are cheap or on sale. Because if you start to develop this mentality in which your mix sucks or your sound sucks or your songs are not as good as they could potentially be because you're lacking this particular piece of software that is doing exactly the same as the one you got but fancier, that's not gonna make any difference, man. The difference lies on you first realizing why the one you got is not delivering the goods. And more often than not, you will find the solution to that problem and you're gonna realize the problem is in the mirror. I suck. When you do that, magical things happens. For example,
not sucking.
By not sucking, even Sydney Sweeney will look at you.
Allegedly. That's not a promise.
Give it a try, because I was about to use Scarlett Johansson, but kids nowadays don't care for her that much.
This kind of like BardonMusic cannot
don't
be liable if the outcome does not.
I have nothing to do. If Sydney Sweeney talks to you, it's not mine. So I'm not gonna be responsible for your lack of success with her. But you get my point.
Yeah.
So, and that applies to guitars, to pedals, to even cymbals, man. Because but cymbals is very different because they're so expensive that you're rarely there to buy new ones, man. So so you don't buy them. Man, I met here in the studio. I met guys that were that cheap, man, that they didn't swap cymbals even after they broke them.
For real, they were rocking broken cymbals.
Still sounds good, man. No. They gaslight, man. I like them better now. I fuck off, man. Yeah.
That's copium at its finest.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. I had to show them with proof. Look. I have this cymbal from another production I'm working on. You're just gonna use it for 4 bars. You're gonna play the same. Okay. Now with your shit. Which one do you like the best? Now the first one. I wonder why. So tomorrow you're gonna find a way to bring proper cymbals because you're not using these guys.
Yeah.
So you don't have. How many times I had to send people back home, man. No, man, this job truly balls your blood. By the way, there's comments here. Just saying. Again, let me entertain. Shit.
Talking about technology.
Here, you're saying technology is good, but as new stuff rolls out and you buy it, then your garage gets full of old tech you can't sell off. Look at that. Experience.
Yeah.
Then, Strat saying, do you think music theory books suck the life out of learning music? Music needs better books. Good question. As somebody who has plenty of books on music, I can tell you that new books are very good. Because the whole way that music theory is being explained has been improved. Not improved, it's been actualized. There is one that I'm reading at the moment, which is a whole program. Next week I'm going to show it, so you can see exactly what I mean. But it's somebody who devised a way to teach music theory using Adobe Logic. In this case, he's using Ableton Live, but it's the same. So he developed a system that allows people to learn music theory through the use of a computer, using software such as Ableton or Logic.
Yeah.
If that's the kind of stuff you're thinking, yeah, there is. It's not as widely spread as I would like it to be, but there are super good ways. Because I can tell you that it's very important. There is even a video I released a few weeks ago in this, which I show some of the stuff I use on my phone, taking advantage of technology once again, to keep expanding my guitar vocabulary using a chord book and phrases, well, music theory, but in a way that is very, very tangible and accessible. So yeah, there are ways, but I agree, man. And books have improved a lot.
But if I may, on the other part of the comments, the whole thing about the sucking the life or whatever, sucking
the life out of music.
Out of music, I think is about how you approach to music theory, because I think it's important to understand that music theory is not exciting.
No.
By default, it's not. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be exciting. And also understanding that learning music theory is not the same as learning music. They are two different things.
Right.
Because it's like learning a language. Words are not fun.
Or hard.
No, look, words are not exciting on their own. Words are not fun.
Yes.
Books can be. Even phrases can be.
Yeah.
But that's making music. Knowing the words, knowing the grammar.
Doesn't mean that you are.
No, but that's learning music theory.
Agreed.
And it's not exciting.
No.
It's not fun.
No.
But it can be used to make fun, exciting stuff.
Yeah, but look, a friend of mine, a little bit more on the music theory side of things, we were having this conversation a few years ago. He's a classically trained musician. I'm not. I'm from the hood. So
yeah, we can tell.
I learn on the streets.
We're see.
We clearly see.
Yeah. The turtleneck is very.
Yeah, it's showing.
Nothing more hood than a turtleneck.
Yeah. The pretentious watch and shit. Yeah, of course you look like from the hood. Look, all jokes aside, I never had proper education, musical speaking, right? But yeah, good point. But I learned afterwards. In the aftermarket of ideas, I bought books and stuff, right? And we were having this conversation on how you can tell when somebody, a composer, is clearly writing music on the basis of music theory and not on the basis of good taste. Because you can hear the music or you can hear the exercises. And a good way to do it without having to go the fancy route of classical music, whenever you go to a bar or whenever you see somebody playing guitar live, right? You can hear the exercises as well. If you hear the scales, music theory sucking the life out of the music, yes, fully. If you can hear music and the guy is capable of always moving forward, That's somebody who uses music theory to expand his vocabulary to the point of being thinking in terms of Guthrie Govan. That guy is nuts.
Extremely knowledgeable.
Way too good, man. To the point of like, man, that's why you look the way you do, man. Because you spend the entirety of your youth learning this shit.
Yeah, it was like a mad scientist
Like,
of music.
Look, he's way too good, man. Because he swaps positions and he can swap genres without telling. Me sucking, starting with this fusion progression, and I will think, no, man, he'll shit, man. But it's the kind of stuff that allows you, well, that is only possible when you truly learn the craft of music theory. So, yes, it can suck, and it usually sucks the life out of people who never learn why the vocabulary they are learning is learned in the first place, and then develop the means to use it in a way that makes sense. Yeah. So here, Roman, final comment. He's saying, tech's needed. The future is tech. The future of tech is always for very music. Yes, on paper.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that the way that technology has developed allows for so many great things. Some of the tracks that we haven't released, we are finally almost close to beginning working on them fully. It's not that I'm bragging, trying to be as not as pretentious as possible. Wear a turtleneck
From the hood.
From the hood. Yeah. You don't know shit.
Let it be known.
Yeah. My street cred, man. If I dare to even try to pull them off, when I began doing this music production gig, I could have done it, but not to this level. Because this kind of technology allows for more ambitious projects to actually be not possible. It's the way to go. And we were having this conversation a few weeks ago, on which we want to do it in a way that is kind of bringing back the good shit from the different decades. Like inspired by Peter Gabriel, in the sense of going for the best sound we can. Like writing and producing an album that is for audiophiles, but also for so audiophiles in the sense of it sounding that good that it's not gonna win Grammys. Get me? Because it's that good. Yeah, so that would be it. So with that said, thank you for watching, thank you for joining, and stay tuned if you want to watch him disgrace music live. You have the chance to do it. We're gonna link the live stream once is ready for it to be available to you tomorrow. And it's gonna be shared in the community tab. And it's gonna be fun. And actually, Strad, if you want to see something related to drums, actually that's the show to go. Because usually speaking, I am the one who's mixing, and I'm explaining.
The one that knows what you're doing when you're sitting there.
He's right now just sweating bullets in front of a camera,
effing around and finding out.
Yeah, usually just finding out.
But we actually have been finding out some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I wonder.
Jokes aside.
Yeah, probably because somebody's actually telling me what to do. But it's actually designed for that. So if you want to watch this, usually it goes live at 2:00 Central.
2 p.m. Central. Yes.
Yes, and with that being said, thanks, Juan.
So thanks guys for being here. For those of you who are new to the channel, because some of you guys in the chat have been here a while, but those of you just stopping by, we do this on a weekly basis, talking about all aspects of music, the music industry, and everything that pertains music in the current age and why it sucks so much.
Yes.
So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, like that you can be notified whenever you do this again, and you can be here with us, have been part of the conversation.
Yes. So every time we meet you, we remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. Don't eat the yellow snow, and remember that we'll see you when we see you.